Hi everyone, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet this really cute baby bonnet with the hearts. So this bonnet can be made in a number of different sizes, and for all of the information on how to make the different sizes, please see the description box below. So thank you very much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos. And when you subscribe, make sure that you click the bell next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of these crochet projects. So to begin the bonnet, you want to start off by making a magic circle. So to do a magic circle, take your yarn and take your finger and wrap the yarn around your finger once, and you then want to wrap the yarn back over your finger to create a cross, like that. You then want to take your crochet hook and go underneath the first loop of the cross, and you may need to pull it up a little bit, but go underneath this first loop, and then using your crochet hook, pick up the second loop of the cross and pull it through. And you can then take your finger out, and there we have a magic circle, and we are ready to begin round one. So to begin round one, you want to chain one, and this chain one does not count as a stitch. This just locks our magic circle into place. So now for round one, we are going to do 10 double crochets into the magic circle. So 10 double crochets. So yarn over and go down into the magic circle, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the final 2 loops on your hook. So there we have 1 double crochet, and now we're going to yarn over, go back down into the circle and work a second one in the exact same way, and then a third, and just keep going until you have 10 double crochets. So there we have finished working those 10 double crochets, and now to finish off round one, we need to close up our magic circle and join. So to close up the magic circle, you want to take this tail end here from where we made the magic circle at the start and simply pull it nice and tight. So pull that end as tight as you can, and there we have closed up the magic circle. And now to join, you want to work a slip stitch into the first double crochet that we worked. So here is the first double crochet here, and if you're not sure which stitch to go into, then you can count back 10 stitches. So count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that will take you to the stitch that you need to work a slip stitch into. So insert your hook into that stitch and yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. And there we have finished round one, and we're ready to move on to round two. So to begin round two, you want to chain one and turn, and this chain one does not count as a stitch. So for round two, we are just going to work 2 double crochets into every single stitch. So you want to go down into this first stitch here and yarn over and go down into this stitch and work 1 double crochet. And then you want to work a second double crochet back down into that same one. And now you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch and work 2 both into this one, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and just keep repeating that all the way around. 2 double crochets into each and every stitch. So I have finished working that all the way around for round 2, and at the end of that round you should have 20 stitches. And now to finish off this round, we're going to work a slip stitch into the first double crochet that we worked, so here. And if you're not sure which stitch to go into, then you can count back 20. So go into this stitch and work a slip stitch. And there we have finished round 2, and we can now move on to round 3. So to begin round 3, you want to chain 1 and turn, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So we are going to do 2 double crochets into this first stitch here. So yarn over and go down into this first stitch and work 2 double crochets into this one. And now you just want to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So yarn over and go into the next one. Whoops. Go into this next one here and just do 1. And we're just going to repeat this all the way around for round 3. You want to do 2 double crochets into the next stitch, then 1 into the next, then 2 into the next, and 1 into the next, all the way around. So I have come to the end of round 3, and at the end of that round you should have 30 double crochets. And now you want to finish off with a slip stitch into the first double crochet that you worked. And now we can move on to round 4. So to begin this round, you want to chain 1 and turn, and as usual that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So in this round we're going to work 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, then 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next stitch, all the way around. So start off by doing 2 down into this first stitch here, and then you want to do 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And just keep repeating that all the way around. So I'm going to do that once more. And just keep repeating 2 1 1 2 1 1. So I have finished working that all the way around for round 4, and at the end of that round you should have 40 double crochets. And now to finish off this round, work a slip stitch into the first double crochet that you worked. And now we can move on to round 5. So to begin this round, chain 1 and turn, and as usual this doesn't count as a stitch. So this round follows the same pattern, but instead of doing 2 double crochets into 1 stitch and then 1 double crochet into 2 stitches like last round, we're going to work 2 double crochets into 1 stitch and then 1 double crochet into 3 stitches. So you want to do 2 double crochets down into this first stitch here, and now do 1 double crochet into each of the next 3. So there's 1, 2 and 3. And now work that again, do 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and just keep repeating that for round 5. So there we have finished round 5, and at the end of that round you should have 50 double crochets, and you want to finish off doing the same thing as we have done before and work a slip stitch into the first double crochet. And now we can move on to round 6. So chain 1 and turn, and this round follows the same pattern, but in this round we're going to do 2 double crochets into 1 stitch and then 1 double crochet into 4 stitches all the way around. So you want to do 2 double crochets into this first stitch here, and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 4. Like that. And now just keep repeating that all the way around. 2 1 1 1 1. So I have finished working that all the way around for round 6, and I have finished off by working a slip stitch into the first double crochet of the round. And at the end of that round you should have 60 stitches. And now we can move on to round 7. So round 7 is our last increase round. So you want to start off by chaining 1 and turning, and we are going to do 2 double crochets into the first stitch and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So work 2 double crochets into this first one, and then do 1 double crochet into 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and you just want to keep repeating that all the way around. Work 2 double crochets into the next stitch, then 1 into each of the next 5 stitches, then 2 into the next and 1 into 5, and at the end of that round you should have 70 double crochets. So I have finished working that all the way around for round 7. So I have 70 double crochets, and we are going to finish off by working a slip stitch. So go into the first double crochet that you worked and yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. And there we have finished round 7, and we can move on to round 8. So to begin this round, chain 1 and turn, and as usual this does not count as a stitch. So we are going to start off by working 2 double crochets into this first stitch here. So work 2 double crochets into this first one, and now you want to do 1 double crochet into each of the next 34 stitches. So we're going to do 34 double crochets, 1 into each stitch, and that should take you halfway around. So go ahead and work those 34 double crochets. So I have just finished working those 34 stitches. So we have done 2 double crochets into the first stitch, then 1 double crochet into each of the next 34, and we are going to repeat that again, and that should take you to the end of round 8. So we're going to do 2 double crochets into this next stitch. So work 2 into this next one here, and then you want to do 1 double crochet into each of the last 34 stitches, and like I said, that should take you to the very last stitch at the end. So I have finished working that all the way around for round 8, and at the end of that round you should have 72 double crochets, and it's really important that you have that number, so I would recommend that you quickly go back and double check that you do have 72. And at the end of this round we're not going to be working a slip stitch, so do not work a slip stitch into this stitch here. We have finished the back of our bonnet and now our bonnet is going to be separate, so it's going to separate here to go around the side of the head. And now we can move on to round 9, and in round 9 we are going to be starting the hearts. So to begin this round you want to chain 1 and turn, and as usual this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And we're going to start off by doing 8 double crochets, or 1 double crochet into each of the first 8 stitches. So yarn over, go into the first stitch and do 1 double crochet, then do 1 into the next and 1 into the next, and keep going until you have 8. So like that, there we have those 8 double crochets, and now you want to chain 2, so we're going to chain 1 and 2 and then skip the next 2 stitches, so skip 1 and 2, and now we're going to do 1 double crochet into each of the next 16 stitches. So yarn over, remember we're skipping these 2, and go into the next stitch and do 1 double crochet, and then do 1 into the next, and keep going until you have 16. So there is my 16th double crochet. So we have done 16 double crochets, and now you want to chain 2, so chain 1 and 2 and skip the next 2 stitches, so skip 1 and 2, and we are just going to repeat that set of stitches 2 more times. So we're going to do 16 more double crochets, then chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to do that again, 16 more double crochets, chain 2, skip 2. So you're just repeating that last set of stitches that we just did 2 more times. So go ahead and do that. So I have worked that set of stitches 2 more times, and you should find that you have 8 stitches left, and we are going to do 1 double crochet into each of these last 8. So we have chain 2 and skip these 2 there, and now we're going to do 1 double crochet into this next stitch, and then 1 into the next, and keep going until you get to the end, and you should find that that is 8. So there we have finished working those 8 double crochets, and we have come to the end of round 9. So this is what you should have at the end of that round, and where we did these chain 2s and skip 2s, these are going to be the start of our hearts. So you should have 4 of them because we are going to have 4 hearts. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now we can move on to round 10. So to begin round 10, you want to chain 1 and turn, and as usual this doesn't count as a stitch, and you want to start off by doing 6 double crochets. So do 1 into each of the first 6 stitches, So like that. So there we have 6 double crochets, and now you want to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. So we're going to chain 1 and 2 and then skip 1 and 2, and you should find that you have reached your first chain 2 space here, and we are going to do 2 double crochets into this space. So yarn over, go down into the space and work 2 double crochets, and now you want to chain 2 and skip 2. So we have done 6 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochets into the space, and then chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches after the space. Now you want to do 1 double crochet into each of the next 12 stitches. So we're going to do 12 more double crochets. So yarn over, go into this next stitch and do 1, and keep going until you have 12. So like that. So there I have those 12 double crochets, and now we're going to chain 2, skip 1 and 2, then go down into this chain 2 space and work 2 double crochets, and now chain 2 and skip 2. And we're going to repeat that set of stitches 2 more times. You want to do 12 double crochets, then chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, and then do that once more. 12 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2. So work that set of stitches 2 more times. So I have finished working those repeats. So I have done 2 double crochets here and chain 2 and skip 2. And now you just want to do 1 double crochet into each stitch until you get to the end. And you should find that that is 6. So finish off this round with 6 double crochets. So like that. And now we can move on to round 11. So to begin round 11, you want to chain 1 and turn, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So we're going to start off by working 4 double crochets. So do 1 into each of the first 4 stitches. And now you want to chain 2, so chain 1 and 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. So skip these 2 here, and now we're going to go down into this first chain space and work 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go into the chain space and do 2 double crochets into this one. And now you want to do 1 double crochet into each of these next 2 stitches. So yarn over, go into this first stitch and do 1 double crochet, and then do 1 into the next stitch. And now you want to go to the next chain 2 space, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into this space as well. So yarn over, go down into this next space and do 1, and then a second double crochet, and now you want to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. So we have done 4 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, 6 double crochets here in the middle, so 2 into the space, 1 into each of these, 2 into the space, and then we have chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. And now we are going to do 8 double crochets. So there we have those 8 double crochets, and now we're going to do the same thing here as we just did back there. You want to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then do 6 double crochets in the middle. So we're going to do 2 double crochets into the first chain 2 space, then 1 double crochet into each of these 2 center stitches, and then 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. So there we have the 6 stitches for the middle, and now you want to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. And we're going to repeat that set of stitches 2 more times. You want to do 8 double crochets, and then we're going to do the same thing here for this next heart. Chain 2, skip 2, do 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets, then chain 2 and skip 2, and then you want to do that again. So repeat that set of stitches 2 more times, 8 double crochets, and then your set of stitches for the heart. So I'm just coming to the end of round 11, so I have done that 2 times, and now we're going to finish off by working 4 double crochets. So you should find that you have 4 stitches left at the end, and you want to do 1 double crochet into each of these. Like that. So there we have finished round 11, and you can see we are starting to kind of get a heart shape. This is going to be the bottom of the heart, and it's coming out. And now we can move on to round 12. So chain 1 and turn. And we're going to start off by doing 2 double crochets. So 1 into each of the first 2 stitches. And now you want to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets into this chain 2 space here. And then you want to do 1 double crochet into each of these 6 stitches. Like that. And now you want to do 2 double crochets into this next chain space here. And then chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. So there you should have 10 double crochets in the center of your hearts for this round. And now we are going to do 4 double crochets. So yarn over, make sure you're skipping these 2 and go into the next stitch and do 1 and keep going until you have 4 double crochets. And now we're going to do the same thing for this next heart. So the same thing that we just did. You want to chain 2 and skip 1 and 2 and then do 2 double crochets into this chain space. Then 1 into each of these 6 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into this next chain space. And then chain 2 and skip 2. So skip 1 and 2. And we're just going to keep repeating that all the way around for round 12. You want to do 4 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, work 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space, work 1 double crochet into 6 stitches, 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space, and then chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. And you want to repeat that 2 more times. So go ahead and repeat that set of stitches twice. So I'm just coming to the end of round 12, so I have chain 2 and skip these next 2 stitches. And now we're going to finish off by working 2 double crochets. So you want to work 2 double crochets at the end. And now we can move on to round 13. So chain 1 and turn. And we're going to start off by doing 2 double crochets. So you want to do 1 double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. And now we're going to chain 2 and skip this chain 2 here. So we are skipping these 2 little chains. And now you want to do 10 double crochets. So yarn over, go down into the next stitch and do 1 double crochet. And then do 1 into the next stitch. And keep going until you have 10. So you're doing 1 into each of these center stitches of the heart. So like that. And now you want to chain 2 and skip the next chain 2 here. And now we're going to do 4 double crochets. So yarn over, go into the next stitch and do 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you want to work 4 double crochets like that. And now we're going to chain 2, skip the next chain 2 and then do 1 double crochet into 10 stitches, so each stitch of the center of the heart here. And now you want to chain 2, chain 1 and 2 and then skip the next chain 2. And you want to repeat that last set of stitches 2 more times. So you'll do 4 double crochets, chain 2, skip the chain 2, 10 double crochets, chain 2, skip the chain 2, and then you'll do that again. 4 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, 10 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, and keep repeating that. So I'm coming to the end of round 13, so I have chain 2 and skip this last chain 2 space here, and then we're going to finish off this round with 2 double crochets, just like we did at the start. So we have 2 double crochets on the edge of the front, so at the edge of the front or the start of the round here, and 2 double crochets at the edge of the end of the round. And now we can move on to round 14. So to begin this round, you want to chain 1 and turn, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So we're going to start off with 2 double crochets again. So start off by working 2 double crochets. And now you want to chain 2 and skip the chain 2 space, and now you want to work 4 double crochets. So we're going to do 1 double crochet into this next stitch here, and 1 into the next, and the third one along, and then the fourth, so 4 double crochets. And now you want to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches, and now work 4 more double crochets. So yarn over, skip these 2 and do 4 more. So like that, and now you want to chain 2 and skip the next chain 2. So that has created the center of our heart there. And now you want to do 4 double crochets. So we're going to do 4 double crochets along this section here. And now chain 2 and skip the next chain 2. So like that, so we have chain 2 and skip the chain 2. And now you want to do 4 more double crochets. So there we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there we have 4 more double crochets, and now you want to chain 2 and skip the next chain 2 space there, and now you want to do 1 double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. So we are doing 4 more double crochets across the center of this next heart. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now you want to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches to create the middle or the center point of this next heart here. And now do 4 more double crochets. And then chain 2 and skip the next chain 2 space, and we're just going to repeat that last set of stitches 2 more times. So we're going to do 4 double crochets, chain 2, skip the chain 2, then do 4 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, do 4 more double crochets, and then chain 2 and skip the chain 2. And then you want to do that 1 more time. So do that last set of stitches 2 more times. So I'm coming to the end of round 14 and we want to finish off by doing 2 double crochets at the end here. Like that. And now we can move on to round 15, and this is the last round of our hearts. So you want to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start off by working 5 double crochets. So you want to do 1 into each of these first 2 stitches. Then you want to do 2 into the chain 2 space. And then 1 into the next stitch. So there we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now you want to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches, and now we are going to do 4 double crochets. So work 1 into this next stitch, then do 2 into the center chain 2, and then do 1 into the next stitch. So we have done 4 double crochets in the middle there, and now you want to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. So chain 2 and skip 2, and now you want to do 10 double crochets. So work 1 double crochet into each of the next 10 stitches, and whenever you get to a chain 2 space, you just want to do 2 double crochets into that space. So there I have those 10 double crochets. So we did 1 in the stitch here, 2 into the chain 2, then we did 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 into the chain 2 for 8 and 9, and then 1 into this stitch here for the 10th one. And now we are going to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches, then do 4 double crochets. So 1 into the next stitch, 2 into the chain 2, and then 1 into the next stitch. And now you want to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. And we're going to repeat that last set of stitches 2 more times. So we're going to do 10 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, 4 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, and then 10 more double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, 4 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2. So you want to repeat that set of stitches 2 more times, and like I said, this is the last round of our hearts. So this is what the hearts look like. So we're doing the center little points at the top. So go ahead and repeat that 2 more times, and if you have the written pattern, it's all written down nice and clearly on there. So I have finished working that all the way along for round 15, and when I came to the end of that round, I finished off by working 5 double crochets. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the end. And now we can move on to round 16. And round 16 is the final round of our bonnet. And in this round, we're just going to do 1 double crochet into every stitch. So chain 1 and turn. And you just want to do double crochets, 1 into each stitch all the way along. So you'll do 1 into each of these stitches, and then whenever you get to a chain 2 space, go down into the space and do 2 double crochets, 1 for each chain. So you'll do 5 double crochets, 2 into here, 4 double crochets, 2 into here, 4, 2, 4, 2, all the way around, finishing off with 5 double crochets over this last section here. So you'll just do 1 double crochet into each stitch, and then once you have done that, this is what you should have. So we will have finished our bonnet. So this one I have finished round 16, And then the very last thing that you want to do is you want to add your ties. So what I did was I did not fasten off, I just made a chain, a really nice neat chain, and I actually like to go down 0.5 millimeters in hook size when doing my chain so that they're nice and neat. So you want to make your chain to any length that you like, but I chained 60, and then you want to fasten off and then make a knot at the end here and then weave that end in, and then you want to attach your yarn into the opposite side and make an identical chain length, and then do the same thing, fasten off and make a knot. And you can then weave all of your ends nice and securely into the inside of your bonnet, and then with this end at the back here with the magic circle, make sure that you pull it nice and tight first before you weave it in to close up the magic circle. And there we have finished. And what I actually did with this one was I blocked it. As we have these hearts here, it really makes a big difference when you block it. So what I did was I just took a foam playmat, or you could use a yoga mat, or there's lots of different ways you can block, but I just took a foam playmat and then I just took some pins and pinned my bonnet in place. So I pinned it all along the front here, and then I pinned the hearts just as I wanted them, and then I just wet it down. So I sprayed it with water and then left it overnight to dry, and then this is what it came out like. So it really makes a big difference to have it blocked. It makes the hearts look really nice. And there we have finished. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it easy to follow. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos. And when you subscribe, please make sure that you click the bell next to the subscribe button so that you receive notifications when I upload and you don't miss out on any of these fun crochet projects. And in the description box below this video, I will leave a link to the written pattern for this bonnet, and I will also leave links to my Twitter and Instagram accounts. So I always like to post updates and pictures on there, especially Instagram, and I would love to see photos of your crochet work on there as well. And thank you again for watching. Bye!